Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log, subdate 220823.4. I've liquefied the potential NPC crew and am using them to power the overclocked phase cannons. Don't worry, I'll put them back together eventually, if I don't blow the cannons to smithereens in the process of, well, dealing with Tate. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to cover this particular topic, for a number of reasons. One, because I actually didn't know who Andrew Tate was until yesterday. The second, because of all that's happened and how fast it's happened, along with the fact that much of it has been debunked already, I'm left in a position of, should I read from the articles as they are depicted to show how disingenuous they are, because let's face it, most of them are in the first place, or do I have to go through every single incident, which will take a lot of time? The third is, I know of 3 creators that have done videos on this, one of whom did an hour-long video covering Andrew Tate. Since Andrew Tate is essentially excommunicated from the vast majority of mainstream social media platforms, I'm also in a position of, how desperately do I want to get demonetized? Because there is that worry. Is his name yet taboo? Is it haram? Or is there a chance that one can actually speak on a subject that has a broader point to it, without being, well, themselves excommunicated? So, with that, we're going to have a crack at this anyway. If I don't do very well, do let me know in the comments. Do fill me in on everything that I get wrong when I'm reading from articles. I know there are a number of incidents that have been debunked, the belt whipping incident being the more obvious, since it was later confirmed by the female in the video it was entirely consensual. So first, who is Andrew Tate? According to The Independent, Tate had a soaring popularity in recent months, who had also been heavily criticised for his misogynistic views. I had been informed he was a part of the manosphere, which is how I don't know anything about him. I pay very little attention to many different communities. I haven't paid attention to the Red Pill community for maybe 5 years. I've also been led to believe he was a part of that to an extent as well. Viral videos of Andrew Tate see him expressing opinions such as women can't drive, that 18-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-olds because they've been through less pain, and that women should shut the F up, have kids, sit at home, be quiet, and make kofefe. Oh, these are spicy, aren't they? Many women's rights charities got quite cross with this, and Meta, along with TikTok, decided, get off our platforms. Now, when it comes to TikTok, you could have a dozen accounts, they could yeet 11 of them but not get the 12. Meta, a little different. That would be Facebook and Instagram. I wonder if they've restricted his access to WhatsApp as well. But in any case, he no longer has Instagram or Facebook. He was quite big on Instagram, almost 5 million followers. I have like 1,200. Can more of you follow me? I'll post pictures of doggies. I swear down. Andrew Tate is a social media influencer, formerly, and kickboxer, formerly. He's also a founder of Hustlers University, an online academy where members pay a monthly membership fee in exchange for advice on how to make a passive income from several online industries. It reminds me of ones done by, is it Jack Murphy? Is that what he was offering? You know what I mean? Influencers offering you a course. Didn't Jake Paul also offer something like this? I think he did, to try and improve your own situation. I get that 100%. And as a social media influencer myself, I'm going to start one now, but you must kneel at the altar of the Church of Moistianity. Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. Our god is not corn, actually it's Nicolas Cage. Do be gentle with him though. He's got a little bit of an ego. Prior to his yeeting, he was, while I mentioned exceptionally large on Instagram, also quite popular on TikTok. The hashtag Andrew Tate on its own had accumulated 12.7 billion views. So what are the controversies surrounding Andrew Tate? In 2016, Tate was booted from the 17th season of Big Brother after a video surfaced showing him hitting a woman with a belt. That was debunked later on. The woman in the video confirmed as such that she was really down for it. In one video, he is seen discussing feminism. We all have very polarizing opinions on it. My view, couldn't care less. I really couldn't care less. Andrew Tate had said, women should shut the F up, have kids, sit at home, be quiet and make kafifi, something I mentioned earlier. Some of his most viral videos see him expressing opinions which I earlier mentioned. Women can't drive, 25-year-olds aren't as attractive as 18-year-olds. And in an interview with The Mirror in March, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan revealed they run an adult webcam business which employs lingerie-clad models to have chat sessions with men. During these chats, which, by the way, the patrons are charged $4 an hour, the models tell male callers about fake sob stories. The brothers admitted the operation was a scam, but they protected by 2 lines in their terms of conditions. One of which is that this broadcast is for entertainment purposes only. The next is that all money given to models is a voluntary sign of gratitude for their time broadcasting. So which social media platforms have banned him and why? TikTok confirmed it permanently banned an account belonging to Andrew Tate as part of an ongoing investigation to remove content that violates its policies. A spokesperson told The Independent, misogyny is a hateful ideology that is not tolerated on TikTok. We've been removing videos and accounts for weeks, and we welcome the news that other platforms are also taking action against this individual. Most of his viral videos, though, were shared by fans and other users, not by Andrew Tate. TikTok said it is using technology to remove duplicated clips of Andrew Tate's content from the platform altogether and is reviewing new content as it is shared. Tate has also been removed from Facebook and Instagram, but all a spokesperson has said is that Andrew Tate had violated policies on dangerous individuals and organizations, leaving it very much open to interpretation, but also a slightly concerning one. We'll get to why soon. So what have women's groups said about Andrew Tate? White Ribbon, a charity that works to end male violence against women, raised the alarm that Andrew Tate's videos could have a concerning effect on young boys and men. The organization also called on TikTok to remove content from Andrew Tate from its platform. The charity told the Mail Online, men and boys regularly watching and listening to negative presentations on masculinity may begin to adopt these attitudes and behaviors, believing that they are acting as the ideal man. This relates to being seen as tough, aggressive, suppressing emotion. These traits feed into gender norms. What being a man and being a woman is, gender inequality is a direct result of traditional and negative stereotypes which confine women's and men's roles in society. They also continue by saying not only does this create a lot of pressure on men and boys, often affecting their mental health and self-image, it also creates dangerous cultures and environments for women and girls to exist in. Sexist and derogatory comments exist on the same spectrum as controlling behavior and physical and sexual violence, which creates environments where men go on to murder women. Andrew Tate responded to this by saying that I make many videos praising women. As a success coach, I talk about avoiding low-value people. I often teach men to avoid friends who take drugs or only watch TV. I teach them to find good male friends and role models, and also say to avoid toxic people as a whole. This means I also say to avoid toxic women, as well as toxic men. Everybody ignored everything I say about avoiding bad men and only says I dislike women for saying avoid bad women. It has nothing to do for hate for women. It's simply about good and bad people. My mother is my hero. I play an online character and am brash and bravado, but my views are pure and simple. Say to find the highest value men and women you can with good hearts. The problem Andrew Tate has is being yeeted off all major social media platforms, his voice is not going to be heard anywhere near as well. It's why the statement he gave is right at the bottom of the Independent's article, because many people aren't going to read that far. They're going to read everything above it and avoid it because they don't need it. Context does matter, and it should be noted that one should hear all sides of an argument before judging. The problem is, humans are quite reactive, quite judgy by nature, so they're not going to seek these answers out. And because I am unknown in all of this, as in I have not made it a point to follow Andrew Tate at any point ever, so I don't really know much about him, I couldn't tell you who's telling the truth. I can only present what I see and point out that there's a chance here some of this is bull, but I don't know which side of it is. Now, it isn't just Facebook, Instagram, TikTok that have also permanently banned Andrew Tate. You see, there's one more. As I was collecting a few sources for this, I found out that YouTube have also done the same. And this is a problem. This is a big problem. Because when all platforms unite, we end up with another Alex Jones situation, where you can't talk about them or you get a strike. Where you can't talk about them or you get demonetized. You are punished and buried by YouTube for speaking up on something that doesn't look right on the face of it. And on the face of it, it doesn't look right at all, because all you've done is push him and his supporters underground or onto alternative platforms that you yourselves don't condone. Truth, Parler, Gab, Minds. I use Minds. There's nothing wrong with these platforms really, but you're pushing Andrew Tate and his supporters over there instead. You're pushing them anywhere else. You're not dealing with the issue, you are simply removing the option for conversation. You know you've goofed when people like Jake Paul even stand up and say, yeah, no, I'm not in favor of this censorship. And he did say that. How embarrassing is it that the voice of reason is Jake Paul, one of the most universally reviled YouTubers around? I had seen articles talk about the accusation that Andrew Tate had gripped a woman by her throat. As far as I was aware, that was a video referencing self-defense when a woman attacks you. I, of course, don't justify any violence at all. Of course I don't. But I do want you to know the context. I can't play the context because YouTube will probably strike me or give me a community warning, which would end up being a strike. I still have one for linking an archive link to an insider article claiming nudity. On the page of that insider article, there are only words. Naked words. YouTube have said that Andrew Tate has been banned for infringing on hate speech policies. Now, I don't agree with hate speech policies. I really don't. I don't agree with the idea of yeeting someone for misogyny either. I really don't. I don't agree in deplatforming in the slightest, with only two exceptions, both of which involve harming innocent lives. Talking about it, no. Actually doing it, ta-ta. Stealing people's copyrighted content, we can talk about that as well. There is a fair use thing as well. I know, and by all means be pedantic as fook about this now that I've said it. But I'm going to hold this position because I don't like the idea of setting these precedents where someone gets mass banned off various sites. They seem to have united and determined what is and is not okay to say. And that is where the crux of the problem now lies. Because now you are actually determining what someone can get away with saying. And because of how disingenuous a number of articles are covering this, you are determining what is and is not fact, which in turn is promoted by the social media platforms that have yeeted him as well. I find this a little egregious and incredibly disingenuous, and quite frustrating. So, will I get demonetized for this? Let's find out.